One of the things that really captures the design and development team's attention and imagination are these really large-scale maquette projects that we take on. And one that we're doing this year that was kind of arguably head and shoulders above everything else in its complexity was the Optimus Prime from Transformers 2. This is really kind of an incredible project for us because it kind of went through the entire gamut of procedures that we use. It has some digital sculpting aspects. It's got a tremendous amount of physical mastering work that went into it. And of course the paint work is going to be a piece of work in and of itself.
The original VFX model we got in Auto Workshop was 30,000 pieces in Maya, which was pared down to 10,000. After that core 10,000 was analyzed again, we cut that down to 7,000. Now, for visual effects, models are created towards their pipeline. So in this case, any face on an object that was never going to be seen was deleted. So they don't need to waste processing power on rendering it for the final film. We need those faces there because we can't print it without that face existing. So we had to go back. In some cases, it was simple as filling a hole on one of those 7,000 pieces. In other cases, or as in this case, most of them, we had to completely rebuild each part one by one to get a final model that we could then pose and begin the very long process of preparing it for print.
Now, of course, the pose is always one of the things that's the most important to us. So in talking about Optimus Prime and looking at the first film and then the second one, which kind of came into the process as we were working on the piece, it gives you quite a spread of attitudes that this robotic character can kind of conjure. Now, obviously, as the head of the Autobots, he's got a certain nobility and dignity that a leader would have. But there's quite a few sequences in, especially 2, where he's really kind of taken a beating. And in a certain way, there was a neat aspect of him in that film that kind of showed how much punishment that he could take and sort of still stoically stand his ground. And so we looked for something of that in the pose that we ended up choosing. We didn't want him sort of standing, triumphantly. We wanted to show a little bit of that vulnerability that, in some ways, Optimus Prime is often referred to as kind of a John Wayne-esque kind of character. And John Wayne always had a certain sense of vulnerability to him. So, we had it where he's, kind of one shoulder is a little lower than the other, and his head's kind of turned in the direction that suggests that, all right, I've taken a couple of blows, but I'm still holding my ground. Come get me. I'm not going out easy. I'm the head of the Autobots, and I'm not just a paper tiger.